I love trendy clothing. I love clothes shopping. I love the feeling of something new and fresh and crisp and clean. And I don't like to be pigeonholed into one set style, and I bet you don't either. This is the non-minimalist guide to a decluttered closet. I have 10 tips for you to make your closet clutter-free and to work a lot better for you. So let's first take a peek. So as you can see, my closet is pretty well organized. I do have it separated into different sections. I do regularly purge or go through my closet about once or twice a year, but my style and my body shape has changed since the last time that I did a purge, and I know there's a lot of clothing in here that just no longer works for me. Because of this, I'm rounding out the summer having only worn shorts 2 times because none of my shorts fit. They make me feel very self-conscious, but then I'm also very cognizant that I have an entire stack of shorts. So I'm not going to the store to buy myself a new pair of shorts. It's actually working against me. Close your eyes. Think about the last time that you got dressed. I bet it was this morning. If you're in a depression rut, then I am rooting for you. Did you grab the very first comfortable thing that you saw? Did you spend a long time staring at your clothes trying to piece something together, then default to an outfit that you just know will work? Then this is the video for you. So let's start off with tip number 1, schedule yourself time to organize. Otherwise, you know you're going to put it off until next week, and then that day's gonna get busy, so you're gonna put it off another week, and then that's gonna get busy, and or else you're going to forget, and then you just reason with yourself that you'll do it when the weather changes because it'll make sense since you need to go through your wardrobe anyway, but then you won't because you're busy when the weather changes because you have to change a lot of different things in your life when that happens, and then 3 years later, you're just sitting here with a cluttered mess of a closet. I would suggest trying to get your closet done in one go at it. Once you built up that momentum, just like hammer it out. But in my case, I had to give it 2 days because I did already do my husband's side of the closet. I'll show you some before and afters and a little bit of that. But today we're going to focus on my side of the closet. And I've already built up the momentum from yesterday. I already have all of my supplies out, my bags for donations, my garbage, my tags are all organized, my room is ready for it. And then we're just going to finish the project. We got tip 2. 2 is coming up. All right, so tip number 2, really consider the current version of you. Also consider near future you, like where are you going to be and what are you going to be doing within the next year. Oh, that one snuck up on me. And wave goodbye to past you. Ask yourself what you anticipate happening in the next year that could actually have an impact on your wardrobe. Maybe you're looking to change career fields. Maybe you're planning on having children or you're planning on being done having children. Maybe you're anticipating moving to another climate, losing weight or gaining weight. There are so many things that could change in the next year of your life, and if you're planning those out, then you can make those decisions also while you're paring down your wardrobe. Say, for example, I went from a professional environment to working from home, and I knew in the next year I wasn't going to be a business professional anywhere. So in my last purge, I got rid of all of my business professional clothing. Then I could make space for the things that I knew were going to change, like I was going to be wearing a lot more loungewear, and so I had space to bring that stuff in. But the last part of this is actually the hardest. Saying goodbye to past you sounds like it should be super easy. Clothing that no longer fits, things that you're no longer into. You wouldn't wear, like I had to get rid of my Blink-182 hoodie. I wouldn't wear this Blink-182 hoodie anymore that's oversized and big, but I had an attachment to it and it was taking up like this, it was huge. It was taking up like this much space in my closet on one hanger. It kept falling off. It was such a pain. I did end up having to put it into storage. And I think what makes it extra hard is that oftentimes when you're doing so, you're closing a chapter in your book in order to open the next chapter, but it's like a rip-off Band-Aid kind of a moment. I do have a suggestion for this though. If you're on the fence about parting with something, just part with it. That's all you needed was that little push. You are on the fence about it, which means you weren't all in on keeping it in the first place, so say goodbye. If it is something that you can never see yourself getting rid of, then store it. It all just boils down to the one thing that we already know. If you're not going to wear it, it doesn't belong in your closet. Tip number 2.2, having some elevation helps with motivation. So tip number 3, make a plan. A project without a plan is doomed to fail. So just go to your closet, walk around, make a plan, decide what percentage of clothing would I like to remove from here in order for it to feel a lot more comfortable. Like maybe you have hangers that are just like so crunched together that you can't even get them to like sit flat, you know? You may need to get rid of 50% or more of your closet. Maybe you have them nice and evenly spaced out, but you just still feel like there's there's too much here, or you have something else that you would like to put into your closet that you currently don't have space for, like winter gear, for example. This gives you an idea when you're going through each category how many items you would need to get rid of to achieve that first goal. I could easily see when I was walking through my closet that eliminating about 30% of my wardrobe and about 50% of my husband's is necessary to make the space work for us again. Are there any items that require special hangers or bins to be stored properly? Do you need to store something in your closet that's currently not in here and needs to take up some space, such as a safe or a massage table or sex toys in a lockbox? There are things that are going to go in your closet that may not be clothing, so make sure you have the space for that. So then that brings us to tip number 4, set up your organizing space. This is where you're going to take your tags and designate specific spots where you're going to put each of the items that you pull out of your closet. Clear enough space in your room or find another room very close by that will give you the space to quickly sort through each piece without feeling trapped and overwhelmed by getting yourself surrounded by piles of clothing and the inability to walk around, and it's just a mess. It becomes very exhausting and overwhelming, and then you think, what the heck did I just get myself into? Set up your tags so that you can make the quick decisions without overthinking what each pile was supposed to be. This also helps you to determine if the pieces you are purging can be sold, donated, or trashed while you are purging them. If you just sort it into 2 piles, yes, keep, no, give away, or trash, or donate, or whatnot, like, you're going to have a whole nother chore of putting away this pile of clothing in the end, and that sucks too. So we're always going to combine it into one single step. That's 2. 1 step. Now to get to the good part, the actual juicy part, the purging, the decision-making part. This is my favorite part. I don't actually know why I like to torture myself like this. Tip number 5 is the beginning of the purge. We are going to tackle only one category or one genre at a time. For example, like all of my t-shirts or all of your work apparel. You don't want to just grab everything and instinctively like empty out the closet. If you need to clean it as you go, then when you grab that category, clean that section. But you don't want everything to be out of your closet at any point during this, because you're going to derail yourself. You're going to be surrounded by so many things that you're keeping or donating that belongs elsewhere that's just going to stay in your way and make it harder for you to make more decisions next. And then also in the end, once you're all done with everything, you're going to be resorting it just to put it all back. Let's do it as efficiently as possible. Let's make this go as quickly as possible, because none of us want to be doing this for 6 hours. Swooping right into tip number 6, ask yourself important questions about each piece that you pull out of your closet. Does it make sense for current or near future you to keep this? Or is it past you and you need to say goodbye to it? Is it your current or near future you size? And is it flattering on you or your body shape, your skin tone, and your hair color? Is it in good shape? Does it have stains or tears? If you feel like you could mend it, are you going to mend it within the next week? If not, then just trash it. Have you worn it in the last year, or do you plan on wearing it in the next year or cycle of seasons? Do I have others that are similar that I love more and reach for more, making this piece always a last pick or never ever picked? Keep reminding yourself of your plan. Could this be part of the 30 or 50% that you feel could be purged out of your closet? For me, this was an amazing category to start with, the t-shirts, because a lot of my wardrobe, as you could see, like a good 20% of it was being held by t-shirts, but I actually hate wearing t-shirts. I have a larger chest, so whenever I wear them, I feel like it makes me look tented and boxy, so I tend to crop them or tie them at the waist so that you could see that I do have a more defined waist, and it's just more my style to do that. If it's a shirt that I can't necessarily tie, then I'm likely to never ever wear it. So getting rid of a good majority of my t-shirts is giving me this momentum to keep on going and to make a lot more space within my closet. Tip number 7 is to put hard to decide on pieces in their own separate pile. I was finding myself kind of like hemming and hawing about these 2 pieces in particular. One, I absolutely love the color olive green on me. I love the overall style and shape of this shirt. However, I know that it doesn't work on me because it's already a little bit short, and if I was to try to tie it in a knot, it does land a little bit higher than, like, I'm not usually this high in my crops. They're usually pretty close to like where my pant line is, and this shirt just doesn't give it to me. So I was having a hard time for some reason at the moment, but now once I've revisited the pile of I'm not really sure, it almost always just ends up going straight over to the donations. You could do this step very, very last. If you're worried about how much you're keeping and if it's all going to fit back in, wait until you've already gone through everything, put everything back into your closet, and then you'll see this pile of other things you're trying to fit into your closet, and you're probably going to end up getting rid of it. I found that I prefer to do it after each category because I like to be done with a whole category and put it back at one time. So I'm gonna make the decisions right after each section. And then this other shirt is a shirt that was made for me with an intention of a different life path, and that life path didn't happen. So I was kind of having some feelings about it, and I'm realizing that I don't need to have those feelings about it, that I could also donate that. I've found that when I give myself the pause, even if all I'm doing is finishing that one category, putting those pieces back, and then revisiting this, I almost always choose to donate. I rarely keep, and if I do choose to keep it, it's a sentimental piece, so I may choose to put it into storage instead of back in the closet. So I just finished the tees and tanks part of my closet, my crop tops. These are all like my summer tops. I started with 73 pieces, and I was able to narrow it down to 38 pieces without feeling like I'm giving anything away, that I'm sacrificing, that I'm sad or emotional over any of the pieces. This shouldn't be like a negative journey for you. This should be very uplifting and refreshing and taking like a weight off your shoulders. Moving on to tip number 8, put everything back based on the season or genre. And most of us already do a combination of both. For example, I have seasonal clothing since I am in Michigan, so we have hot summers and cold winters. I have tank tops sorted separately from hoodies, and so I have space designated for each of these seasons within my closet. But then I also have loungewear and exercise clothes that deserves a separate space in my closet outside of summer and winter. The point is, sort your closet based on how you use it. Sliding into tip number 9, troubleshooting limited space issues. The two main reasons you may find that you have limited space in your closet is that you're housing seasonal items and near future you items that could be in storage and rotated out. In our last home, we only had 1,000 square feet. Our closet was not a walk-in closet, so we had a hanging bar in the basement that we used to rotate seasonal attire. Another thing we had to do was use these space saver bags to store our oldest daughter's clothes for our youngest daughter to grow into. Another option is a rolling wardrobe. I love this option because it could be housing all of your fancy attire that you couldn't keep in your closet, but you don't necessarily want to pack away out of sight. Of course, using bins is a great option, but stay away from cardboard boxes since they do not protect your clothing. And get creative about your storage. If you have a high-up shelf or the ability to install a high shelf in your closet, then that could be used to rotate seasonal or near future you attire. And our last tip, tip number 10, maintaining the space easily. There are 2 habits that are going to help you to maintain your space very easily. The first one is adopting one in, one out method. Anytime you bring in a new piece of clothing into your closet, you should aim to remove one piece. This does 2 things. It prevents you from continually adding to your closet by causing you to purge on a regular basis, and it rotates your new style in while replacing your old style, allowing it to change more organically with you. The other habit involves this bin. Place a bin somewhere in your closet, and whenever you see a piece that needs to go, then toss it in the bin. This helps you to purge your closet while getting dressed in the morning. Everything is put back. I'm so excited about it. It looks so gorgeous in here. I cannot wait to show you. I also can't wait to tally up exactly how much I got rid of. I got rid of so much, but there is one last thing. It's just one of these little guys. So I had the perfect location for it right here. In here, I have 3-ish categories of things. I have the swim, the exercise, and then I also have accessories like my hats and my belts that I'm gonna see if I can get all organized in here. Are you ready to see the grand reveal? I am so excited for it because I know how much easier it is going to be for me to get dressed in the morning. Just imagine if you do this to your closet, how much easier it would be for you. Quick little travel around the room, trash or recycle pile, very easy, and I already have a garbage bag, so I know I could just get rid of this so fast. This is my gigantic mountain of clothing that I am getting rid of, and Daryl got rid of that entire bag yesterday. I have nothing to sell because I have nothing of value, and then this stuff is all stuff that belongs elsewhere. Quick little reminder on what the closet looked like before. It was organized, but it was very cluttered. It wasn't necessarily messy, so it didn't scream, help me, but my morning routine was screaming, help me. So here we have the newly decluttered closet. I probably have about half the hangers that I started with up here. Everything's very spread out and almost nothing cluttering up this shelf any longer, except for neatly folded loungewear that I grab and go all the time. So it's important that it's just inside the door for me. We have all of my long sleeves for winter, so I kind of have my closet separated into two. I have summer on top. I have winter on bottom, and then I have the jeans and shorts. I can very clearly tell that I am lacking in the shorts department. We have all of the accessories, swim, purses, a steamer, and exercise gear, and nothing cluttering up the floor any longer. I didn't really show this case that I have in the back, but this is where I was keeping all of my jewelry. I had a jewelry box here. I purged a lot of it and kept the pieces that I do gravitate towards here on a dish instead. I like to keep it decorated, and a few of my extra large bongs that don't necessarily fit on the shelf over here. And I keep my necklaces hanging on these little command hooks. They're just really easy to apply, and it keeps them all tangle free. This here is actually a shoe organizer from IKEA, and I fell absolutely in love with it because it has a pretty thin profile against the wall, but I could still fit things in this top shelf, things that have to do with watches and shoes, in this little skinny drawer. And then in here I have all of my shoes that don't belong downstairs. So I have my really quick grab and go in my laundry room. I have the ones that I generally wear in my foyer entryway closet, and then these are ones that I wear a little less frequently, or I try to keep them protected a little bit more from wear and tear. So I have all of mine in here. I was able to purge a few pairs of shoes and get all of my husband's shoes in here, his side of the closet. So he didn't get rid of nearly as much as me because he felt like if the t-shirt was fine and it was functional, it's something that he probably would wear and he'll continue to wear it. I ended up putting it in rainbow color because I figured as soon as all the t-shirts have been worn for the entirety of the next year, any of them that remained in rainbow order towards the back are ones that were never ever worn, colors that he never gravitated towards, and next summer I'll end up purging those. Again, all of his summer on top for the most part, with the exception of his dress clothing, and then all of his winter on bottom. He also got a bin on a shelf, and he was very excited about a bin. He ended up reducing his closet by 42%, which is quite a bit. I think he got rid of a total of 110 pieces. And then we have a few keepsake memory items over here and a ton of hangers. And then this is a massage table. This is where it belongs, and it's where it happily lives. Running the numbers, because I'm a numbers junkie, I had 284 pieces of clothing on my side of the closet. I ended up with 122 pieces of clothing to go back into my closet. It feels like I can breathe in there again. I also have space that if I do want to add some new fashionable, trendy items, I certainly could without it feeling very overcrowded, and I would be able to find it, access it, and wear it very easily. I hope that this encouraged you to go into your closet and totally declutter it. You're going to be so much happier. You're going to be so much more efficient in the morning. You're going to be so much more efficient even when you're just putting away your laundry. You're going to save so much time in each day. That's it. Thank you all so much for being here for another episode of The Elevated Home. If you like this kind of content at all, please consider hitting subscribe before you leave. Huge shout out to all my patrons whose names you see over here on the screen. I'm gonna get going. I have a whole lot of clothing to donate and bag up, and some things that I need to move elsewhere, but this should be relatively easy. I think it could take me 10 minutes, maybe max, to clean up, which is why we do it like this. Love ya, and I'll see you next time. Bye.